Hey, howdy, hey, friends and neighbors. We're out here in snowy, winter Arkansas. We don't get snow like this a lot. I was out here before the snow sawing down some dead, dried trees to supplement our firewood, and I came across a couple of plants. Keeping my eyes out for plants and zombies, as I do. One of them is right here, and this is a Mahonia, or an Oregon grape. The common name can get used for several species. I think that this one is probably the hollyleaf or leatherleaf Mahonia, and it's in the Berberine family, or Berberidaceae. Berberidaceae, I think that's the name of the family. And this is an edible and medicinal plant. Now, mostly these grow out in the Pacific, out in the western side of the United States. And some will call this invasive here, but I never see them. I never see them taking over here in Arkansas. I'll see them in landscaping around houses, and I will see them in the woods by the houses where birds have eaten the seeds and pooped them out in the woods. But I would not call them invasive personally. Now, let's talk about identifying here again. This guy, it has a very holly-like leaf, although it's not in the holly family. Am I aiming at that there? With these little spines on the leaves. The leaves are evergreen, obviously, and they're going to be pinnately compound. This is a compound leaf, because this is actually a leaf, one leaf. But the roots, which we can't see right now, the roots are the medicinal part, and they will have a chemical called berberine in them, which is antimicrobial. Well, we'll talk about the properties here in a second. It's you know you have a good root when the inner bark is a sort of an orangish yellow, a real rich color. And you can use it fresh, you can use it dried. It tinctures out well too. It's water and alcohol soluble pretty well. It's an alkaloid, so you don't want to really overdo it, and it is heat sensitive, so it's better if you avoid hot preparations if that's possible. Alright, so now let's talk about what the berberine does. And it's not just berberine in there, but that's one of the real active compounds, and it's common to other members of the family. But berberine has a suite of activities, mostly centering around being antimicrobial and the digestive system and the liver. So it's bitter, first of all, so you may want to take it in a preparation that hides the taste, unless you're using it for its digestive properties, in which case tasting the bitter kind of it triggers the body to get all that digestion going. But it's yeah, strongly antimicrobial. You can use it topically, you can use it internally. I've read of people using the leaves powdered and using infusions topically, but I've never tried that. But yeah, you can powder the root. Let's see if I can get down here without falling, and use it in capsules, or you can make a tincture. Just with the simple Folk method works good. If you do a tincture, it's good stuff, but I would be hesitant to overuse it. I myself would probably start somewhere in the 10 to 30 drop range, maybe 2 or 3 times a day. If you're going to use it powdered in a capsule, maybe 2 of those size 00 capsules, or if you're going to stir the powder into something, maybe like 1/3 of a teaspoon. Again, 2 to 3 times a day, and you can see how you respond to it. It can be a little laxative, and that goes along with its cholagogue, or hepatic properties. It helps to, let's see, where am I walking over here? I want to get to the right plant. It helps to cleanse the liver and protect the liver somewhat, promote proper liver function. So that is another function of the plant. Now, this time of year it doesn't have any berries, obviously, but in the spring it will develop some yellow blooms on these. They're densely packed on these racemes, and those later will turn into blue berries, and that's bluish purplish, and that's where it gets the name Oregon grape, because they're all clustered together on those racemes, and it gives them a grape-like appearance. And those are edible. The taste can vary. They're kind of sour. Birds love them, and I think here's another plant we're going to look at. But if the plant is well watered, like in a landscape situation, the berries are probably going to taste a little better. But if you find one out in the woods that hasn't been taken care of real well, then the root is probably going to be a stronger medicine because it's more concentrated with less water. It's, you know, in there more. And well, this is the plant I was looking for, but we've already taken most of the berries off. This is a plant called Nandina, or heavenly bamboo, and it's also in the Berberine family, the Berberine family. And it's not a bamboo, despite the name. It does have sort of a bamboo-like shape. Now, ignore the smilax briars, but it's an upright shrub. It doesn't branch a lot until you get to the very, very top. We have these pinnately compound leaves. It can be double pinnately compound. Here we go, double pinnate compound. I think they can even be triple pinnately. Well, let's see. Where's the actual leaf on this? This is okay. This is double pinnately compound right here, and this is single pinnately right there. But I think that they can be triple pinnately compound too, which is neat. You don't see that a whole lot. And this is another one that is listed as invasive, and I can understand why people would say that. I've got a friend that calls these rich people plants because as he was growing up, he would see these downhill of the wealthier homes in the town where he grew up in. And the reason is people will use them in landscaping because they are beautiful. They'll have these red berries, which we'll talk about in a second, and it will hold these most of the winter until they get eaten. And of course, the berries can roll downhill from the wealthier houses, or a bird eats them and poops them down the hill. And then you'll have little colonies of these things popping up down the hill. I personally don't think of them as invasive. I just don't think that they're trying to take over enough to be invasive. I'll see them in town here, also downhill from the wealthier houses. But they don't seem to be taking over. They seem to be coexisting. That's just my thought. Now, they're a little controversial in that some people think that they're dangerous. There are some cases where birds, specifically cedar waxwings, have been poisoned by eating excess amounts of the berries, usually real late in winter when they don't have other food. And I'm sure that does happen sometimes. Personally, I don't see a lot of evidence for that being common. I think that's more of an unfortunate event, but when specific factors line up. But that's just me. If you're a bird expert and you disagree, well, then disagree. All right. Medicinally, I have not tried to use this plant medicinally. It is in that same Berberine family, so theoretically, it should have the berberine in the roots. It's cold now, and I don't have a shovel, so I'm not going to dig one up. But we could just check. We could break it open and see if the lower part of the stem and the root is that orangey yellow color, and then it should have it. The leaves are edible, the younger leaves, and we don't have any younger fresh leaves this time of year. They're edible with preparation, so let's come back to that in the spring. But the berries are beautiful red, circular. They have a little like a button at the end. And there'll be multiple seeds in here. Oh, I didn't frame this in, so I don't know how well this is going to show up. There we go, the seeds. And some people will say the berries are toxic. Some will say that they're edible. And I think the key is the seed has either a cyanide or a cyanide-forming compound, and that's the toxic part. But the skin of the berry and the pulp, or it's kind of a mealy pulp of the berry, I think is safe. I've eaten them several times out of hands. My kids have eaten them. We've tried some experiments trying to cook them into something, and so far we haven't hit on anything really great. They're bland. They don't taste bad. They just don't taste like much at all. Here. Come here, little berry. So let's get the berry. It's cold. Get the seeds out. And kind of nothing. So I don't know if they have anything in them calorie-wise. I've never looked it up because not everybody even considers them edible. But as far as an emergency food, I mean, it would be something. Or if you just want to go and experiment with it. Of course, be cautious when you first try them, just with every plant. All right. Those are two Berberine family members that I wanted to show you while we were all snowy and the woods are all pretty. I'll see you on the next video. Keep your eyes out for plants and zombies, because you think they're going to be all frozen in the snow, but you never know. We could have warm-blooded zombies coming up. Bye.